Hey guys, I'm Alex, and wow, you can really tell I haven't done this in a while. I'm Alex. This is Flashbacks over here with Will. I'm already messing it up.
Yeah, we've had some scheduling issues. I have a baby on the way and work's
Woo!
been kind of hard preparing for that and planning for everything. And you obviously have 10 other podcasts and a wife
Yeah,
of your own. So
yeah. We're
I'm glad
trying
we're
to
able to get around to it.
we're trying to work on something. I'll tell you about it off mic later. We'll see. But
Cool.
yeah, that's something. I don't want to tease it too much because it's one of those things I don't know if it's going to happen or not, so I don't want to say too much on air. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna go
I don't know.
ahead.
I think you should. I think you should just do it.
Yeah, just reveal it all. Be
Yes,
like,
why not?
hey, it's like this isn't like it's one of our most popular podcasts or anything. We'll be fine. Like, it's like this we'll be good. This is not like our top viewed podcast or anything, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're still in the 90s. We're still looking back. You guys remember the 90s, right? Like everybody out there.
I remember.
I remember you remember berries, but anyway, we're here to review season one, episode 12, The Trickster. Um, do you see what I meant when I was talking about the tone differences between the first episode and this one? Just briefly before I go into the summary.
Very. There was one moment in particular that was very Scooby-Doo-esque, that I wasn't expecting, but yeah.
Yeah, it goes pretty because I think at first, and we'll go into this obviously when we get into our thoughts and everything, but just briefly, I think at first they were trying to go more dark, and then after a while they're just like, who cares, just do what you guys want to, and so they went a little bit more goofy as the show went
Yeah.
on. But yeah. So anyway, going into the episode, we open once again on the symbol forming with 2D lightning, and I never get tired of this classic intro. I think that's where they got the idea for the CW Flash, where they have that. I think that's probably exactly where they got that idea. I think I said
Yeah.
that last time, maybe, but anyway. Our first opening shot is of Megan Lockhart frantically calling Barry to come help her. Megan was set up in a previous episode where she tried to find out the identity of Barry Allen and actually did, but just didn't want to turn him in after finding it out. But yeah.
That was the hard part for me with this was since I
Hmm.
hadn't seen the other episodes, I was like, who is she? What? Where's Tina?
To be fair,
It's,
I had to kind of rewind in my brain and be like, "Is this her first appearance?" No, because they mentioned something else. I'm like, it's fine. I'll look into it." But
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's been a while since I've seen all the episodes too. But anyway, she's frantically calling Barry to come help her. Instead, she only gets his answering machine. She was like I said earlier, set up in a prior episode. I like the retro vibe to this scene with the old car and classic movie theater exterior set. Like, I really like that a lot of these are sets instead of like, I feel like in the CW show, a lot of that stuff, like, there are sets, but like a lot of it feels like it's like practical, like they shoot it outside and
Yeah,
everything.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's definitely a different flavor. But, we are introduced to the titular antagonist of the episode, the Trickster, played by Mark Hamill in a menacing scene as he breaks through Megan's car window while wearing a top hat. That was actually kind of effective with like the under, like literally like the underlighting, kind of like this whenever he like reaches his hand out and bursts through. What did you think of Mark Hamill just briefly in this?
Yeah. I like Mark Hamill a lot. I know for a lot of people, at least right now in 2024, he's kind of controversial a little bit,
Yeah.
depending on what you believe and stuff. But as an actor, he's always been great. I mean, he's known, most famously for the biggest cinematic franchise of all time in Star Wars.
Hmm.
That was obviously one of his bigger starts, where we see a completely different version of an actor in him than what we see later on.
Yeah.
But as far as voice acting goes and other stuff like that, I mean, the dude's iconic. He's done so many roles. He's truly a legend in the business.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
he definitely puts it on display here. You can see how he earned that role of the Joker in Batman the Animated Series with this.
Yeah, he kind of does a Joker like laugh at some point. There, that might just be like his like crazy laugh. Like it might,
Yes.
I don't know. Like you
Yeah.
start noticing the more you watch like a particular actor, especially Hamill, as he's gotten older, his voice has started to sound more and more like just the Joker, basically. So
Yeah,
it's kind of funny, like, seeing this and like this is before he played the Joker, so he's kind of
he's
doing,
interesting, man. Like I feel like
yeah,
had he earlier in his career, I feel like had he really like kept himself in good shape and chose other roles and things like that, I feel like he could have actually had a larger career than what he had too. And he's done some iconic things, but they've been more so in the nerd culture for like a lot of stuff that we're into. But I feel like he could have
yeah,
done other things as well because he's got the range for sure.
definitely. He's underrated. But yeah, so we quickly cut away from that scene with Mark Hamill to a fun scene at Barry's apartment between Tina and Barry and Earl. I know you mentioned last time that you really liked the dog, so I'm sure that you liked the play he got in this episode with like, eating popcorn, that kind of thing, and like once Barry has to speed off, like them spending time together. I thought that was like fun.
Yeah, man, the dog is the best character in this show by far. Honestly,
Can't argue with that. The Earl's
yeah.
the
I mean, but
best.
if you think about it, the '90s actually had a lot of really stiff like dog competition. You had Airbud, you had Beethoven, all these other famous dog actors out there.
Wishbone.
All dogs go to heaven. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of tough competition out there, you know.
Did you watch
Scooby Doo.
Wishbone growing up?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that one too. I always
classic.
forget about that one. Yeah, so anyway, we're in the 90s, so we're getting all nostalgic in here. But yeah. So the fun doesn't last though. Barry, there's also some playful flirting. They're talking about the Philadelphia story before that. And then Barry, the fun doesn't last here, the flirting. Here's that urgent message from Megan and quickly runs. I enjoy that before he does that, though, Tina kind of cautions him against it because of the toll it might take on him. He hasn't ran to a destination over 100 miles away before. Like, I thought that was kind of like a realistic kind of
Yeah,
moment, especially for as goofy as this show goes, like now. Like, it's nice to still have those moments where it's like, you haven't
sort of
tested
grounded.
going that far. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was good. Because, like, you think, like, shows like this, like, you wouldn't even think that they would even consider stuff like that. But I can definitely tell, based off some other episodes too, that the people that made this were comic book fans. Like, they have a character later. I think there's a mention of him called like Carter Hall, which is like if you know the comics, that's like Hawkman. And I
yep.
don't know if he's in the show or not, but I definitely know he's mentioned in the show. So that's like stuff they didn't even have to do. So these guys are really
Yeah.
into the comic book roots. But yeah. I like how Tina is disappointed, but immediately pivots to spending more time with the dog, offering him popcorn. Like you can tell like that she's like ready to start basically dating, and we're gonna talk about how Barry treats women in this episode. It's not great, but we'll get into it. We'll try to determine which is the worst Barry in terms of how he treats how he treats girls. But anyway, the next scene with Hamill's Trickster playing to an empty theater that he livens up with pre-recorded voices is so much like his Joker from Batman the Animated Series. I like to think that this
Yes.
episode inspired him to do that later. Like that was just because I don't really know the Trickster in the comics. Like I've read some Flash stuff, but like he's not. I'm trying like in the New 52 stuff, like at least the stuff I read, he wasn't really a spotlight, like he'd be in the background and stuff like that. But like this one is much
Absolutely.
more like Joker like, I feel like. Um oh yeah, the music for him is also very similar to his Joker theme in that show. Did you notice that too? I know you said you've been watching the 90s Batman animated series recently.
Yeah, the music actually, even outside of that, there's a really funny moment later on in this episode where they do a callback to another Warner Brothers property,
Oh yeah.
but with the music. But yeah, no, it definitely played on that same kind of tone as well. I think this very much so inspired Bruce Timm's take on the Joker in
I
that
could
show.
see that. Yeah. The mannequins in the seats, like in the shadows, basically in that theater he's in, are kind of creepy. Like the way that they shoot it, it's like it's kind of got like a creepy, like kind of eerie feel to it. Like they could have just gone full like campy and they didn't. I like that they still have that like air of like menace to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like modern like Batman 66 is what I would think of it. Maybe not that far, but definitely like campier than like what we saw earlier. The other stuff in the in the pilot was maybe unintentionally campy in places, but like this
Yeah.
one's actually going for
I
something.
would have loved a really creepy villain actually in
Yeah.
this series, in this like I guess time that they have it in, like Doll Maker or somebody like that.
Yeah.
I feel like they
Bryan
could have done that very
Cranston
well.
is in this show at one point playing a villain. He it's not a great villain. Like he plays like some weirdo that's obsessed with like this aging baby or something like that. Like it's a weird like I don't know. I haven't gone back to watch it, but I know that Bryan Cranston is in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the 90s. It's the 90s, you know, like what are you gonna do? But yeah, anyway. Um I like that he shoots the like speaking of the creepiness, I like that he shoots the mannequin that heckles them. It shows he's comedic but also dangerous. That I thought that was effective.
Yeah.
Megan is stuck in a box that Jesse plans to cut in half. It's silly but fun. Like I very cartoony, but like I like it. It kind of fits in this like kind of over the top like retro-y world. I like that Megan is a strong woman who doesn't take crap from anyone, but she's very like, I don't know how to put this. It's like 90s like strong woman where it's like where it's like I don't have to take any guff from anybody, like blah blah blah. I don't know, like it's definitely got one of those like I don't really know how to say it, but like at one point she's like, I'm sick of this cartoon crap and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's very like a very specific version of like that kind of character.
Yeah, kind of like what's her name from the Terminator?
Oh, like
Why
Sarah
can't I think of
Connor
the actress's name? Yeah.
or Linda
Yeah, Linda
Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
cool. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Um, oh yeah, I still love this classic theme song. I wish more modern shows had classic theme songs. Like I I kind of miss that. Like a lot of shows now, they just have like the except for like Game of Thrones, they had an actual theme, but
Yes.
like most shows will just have the title with like a little music sting and then it'll just go straight into the episode. I miss like there's an art to it and like especially with like stuff like the X-Men show or other stuff, like it pumps you up, like it gets you ready to watch
Yeah.
the episode. Like I feel like that's missing now.
Yeah, the only really stuff that does it still now is really going to be your anime series.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I like that Trickster already thinks him and Megan are in a relationship. He does that a lot. Like every time this dude gets arrested, he's all he's always like delusional and stuff. Like that time it's like Megan, and then like we'll get to the end of the episode. It definitely reminded me of a certain movie. But yeah, it's interesting. I like that she calls the Flash red. I also like oh yeah, sorry, I missed the point. Flash rescues Megan. I love the dumbfounded line reading that Mark Hamill gives here. He's like, "The hell are you?" I thought that was really good. I like that Megan calls him Red. Like that's a pretty cool like nickname. Like I don't know. That's
The
I think
red
that's
blue
unique to
blur,
him.
I think, would be better, but I agree.
Yeah, he'd probably have to change his color scheme a little bit, but yeah, he'd have to put on one of those red or no blue like jackets then, a farmer's jacket or something.
Yes.
He quickly dispatches the Trickster. I like the silly sped up effects as he traps Trickster in his own trap. Really shows how the show has become more comedic now. I like that the Flash is out of it from how much energy he used getting there. Like again, like going into because even the CW show had moments like that where like the first like we went over it where like he ran into that was it like some pillows or like a mattress or something like that just because like he
Yeah.
crashed basically. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like I like that that's kind of like we're gonna see a lot of repeating themes I feel like between this show and its spiritual successor the CW show.
Yes.
But yeah. Oh, we get a backstory on James Jesse. Megan was tailing him before he started tailing her as a repo job. Which is kind of interesting. Um, and then like I like this line is very 90s, but I do like it. got more personalities than a variety show, talking about James Jesse, like, and then the cops, I like is a great line about Jesse from the cops. They look like they stepped out of a class like noir, like police movie, like with how they're
Yeah.
dressed and how the main guy is talking about, oh, come on, rookie, she's had enough trouble for one night when he tries to like basically ask Megan out and everything. I thought that was fun. Yeah, so like I said earlier, Trickster's now into Megan. He professes his undying love for her. Barry's costume or changes his costume so that he can get a ride home. It makes him look Megan a little like I like that little scene there. With
Yeah, I
his
agree.
very Miami Vice look that Barry had,
Yeah.
like after he changed. But he brings Megan back to his place, and I feel so bad for Tina here as she fell asleep with the dog and seems a little confused while she's there. Not cool or considerate on Barry's part. He even told her about when Tina formed an all-girl gang, which bothers her. Barry's fucking up here too, LOL. That's what I wrote in my notes. Yeah, so let's I guess let's talk about that. How do you feel about how he's been treating, it gets worse, but how he's been treating Tina so far in this episode?
She definitely feels like an afterthought now
Yeah.
to him. You know, it I think sometimes too we when you find the right person a lot of times, initially you don't even realize it. And so sometimes they can become an afterthought like that, but then once you do, it all works out in the end.
Yeah, because he like it's hard to tell, and I think they write it this way so that he doesn't seem as bad, but they kind of play it like he doesn't realize how into him that she is, like kind
Mhm.
of thing. And it kind of gives me like Chloe and Clark vibes from Smallville with like the pining, except for this one, this is actually like something where it goes somewhere and it's like a good I would say that the Chloe relationship is kind of toxic, or at least it was in
Yeah.
places during that show.
Yeah, I mean, had it gone further, he might have joined a cult or something like that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Well, the real life person is a terrible person. That's the thing. Is like I'm just glad while that show was going on, none of that crap was happening really. Like that's at least kind of reassuring so it doesn't like taint that show for me. But
yeah.
yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go back to the 90s before all that that craziness happened. But oh yeah, Tina has this line, well, I guess I can't be the only one in regards to knowing Barry's secret. It's really sad to hear her say. Like it's kind of like when like Chloe, good again, we're just gonna reference Smallville. Chloe got kind of
As we
possessive with
do
like this
often on
secret.
this show.
Yeah, man, it's easy to make comparisons.
Well, if you think about it, out of all the DC based TV shows, that's probably the most culturally impactful live action TV show they've done.
Definitely. Nothing else would be here if it wasn't for Smallville. That
Yeah.
was the not to use a cliche term, but that was literally the blueprint for like the rest of this
For all
stuff.
the whole Arrowverse, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I like that he at least apologized about leaving her high and dry. Like that was kind of nice. So at least like he had like a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, man, Barry's horny in this episode, man. Barry trying to smash, insisting she stays with him. To be fair, he lets her have the bed, so he's a gentleman. But then also, next scene is literally him just like restless on the couch. Like, I'm surprised like that couch didn't catch on fire with as much
Yeah.
as he was like moving around and everything.
That was definitely a funny scene.
Yeah, that was fun. Um, And then yeah, they meet up and then basically they smash. But yeah, anyway. Um so I like this line from one of the cops that's talking to James Jesse. He was like, "Oh, she's the only woman I ever loved." He's like, "That's because you killed the 12 other women you only loved." So the trickster has a pattern of killing people he loves, which I don't know if ever like I think it's just like for this maybe because I think in his next appearance it's different, but like that's an interesting backstory for him.
Agreed.
Yeah. Trickster takes out the cops and finds a very Joker-like hideout in Central City. this joke has been made before and it's almost a meme at this point, but I feel like if I lived in any city that had like a superhero of any kind where it's colorful supervillains were, I would close down any toy store that was abandoned. Like I would just
Yep.
demolish it. Any kind of thing with any kind of whimsy to it. Like we don't want
Yes.
that because that's it's gonna be bad news for everyone. But yeah. So anyway, I like that they continue the motif of calling Flash Red Demon as Trickster. They use his super comic booky but super silly costume. What did you think of his look here?
It was a look. It was a choice. No, I mean for what they were going for with the campiness, they definitely nailed that. I think that the look gets a lot better in the 2014 Flash series as well. I
Definitely.
think they really nail it around there.
Yeah, like that. He's also more menacing. I can't wait to go over that episode. It's gonna be a fun time. But
Yep.
I like that Julio interrupts Megan and Barry's date with a silly line and congratulates Barry on his game of pulling Tina and Megan, which he says isn't the case. Like, come on, Barry, open your eyes,
Yep.
man. Um, Barry forgot about his and Tina's date to the costume ball. She takes it well, but Barry seems to treat her a lot, like we said earlier, like an afterthought. So then again, like furthering what we said earlier.
Fully agreed.
Yeah. I like the Easter egg that the ball is being held at Infantino Hotel after Carmine Infantino, a influential comic book. I think he was, yeah, a very influential comic book creator of the time. I like the side plot that Bellows thinks Murph is the Flash. What did you did you also enjoy this? I know you're a fan of those two.
Yes, they're one of the better parts of the show. They don't jump over the dog for me, but they're definitely fun. It was cool the way that Barry played into it as well.
That dog has to live forever, man. There's no
Oh
way.
yeah. Yeah. Still alive today?
Yeah, still alive. It beat the odds, but anyway, I love that Barry leans into this, basically like being like, I don't know, Murph, you might be. Kind of thing. I thought that was great. I like how uncomfortable Megan is when they hear Trickster is in town. It kind of because she has like this big like bravado and everything, and act like she's not scared of anybody, but it's nice seeing that it's getting to her a little bit.
Yeah. It is. She's definitely got that tough girl mentality of the of 90s protagonists, and
Definitely.
you get to see some vulnerability there.
Yeah. So the prank persona is set up here. His Harley Quinn, which we'll go over a bit whenever we briefly cover it before we go into the when we return to the CW stuff, we'll go briefly over like prank and that kind of thing because it kind of
Yeah.
I think it might play slightly into the CW show. I don't remember, so that'd be fun to find out. But anyway, that's his Harley Quinn. As a delusion with him thinking it's Megan, like that's interesting. That starts out as a delusion, and then in his next appearance, they actually get someone who is Prank. Like that was kind of
Yeah.
interesting. And I think it's an original creation for this show. I don't think that he has a female like partner in the other one.
Yeah.
The Trickster Mobile is great, and the corny theme when it's showcased is hilarious. That da-da thing was so dumb, but I enjoyed it. I love the next scene where the trickster unveils a bomb that's attached to a statue of what looks like Jay Garrick, like the Golden Age Flash. Like that was a really cool moment.
Completely agree.
Yeah. It's kind of cool that they don't definitively know that the trickster is Jesse, and what tips them off is the voice. His laugh is very Joker-like here as he drives away and the Flash saves some kids from the explosion.
Yeah.
I like that he has a million different aliases, and this is just one on a long list of them. Not sure if I've ever seen another villain do that. The police chief accuses the Flash of drawing these freaks out. I like that it bothers Barry and he rattled off previous foes. It's a reoccurring argument that always fascinates me. What do you think of like that whole argument that like heroes invite like the villains basically? Do you think there's any like weight to
Like
that?
they kind of create their own villains in a
Yeah,
lot of
like
ways.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime that you have a deeply held principle or value about something, let's say justice for an example, right?
Hmm.
and you go to those lengths to pursue it, there's also going to be an antithesis to that, where someone else is going to act against it to the same level of extreme.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, just look at the American government today, right? Or just look at governments all around the world or anything. At some point, there's going to be the opposite of what you're trying to do, but to the same level of extreme.
right. Oh, first time I noticed that he has hostages in that costume shop, the Trickster does, like, because they barely move and barely make any noise. So in the past, when I'd watched this episode, I didn't even notice that they were tied up in there when he was getting like his supply. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I like that Megan seems to always come to. Oh wait, sorry, I missed some. Um, him using marbles to slow the Flash down is silly but fun. Like that part where he's he's running out on the street and you see Flash trying to run after him. It's like it's very silly, but it's like it's practical. That makes sense.
That was my Scooby Doo moment that I was mentioning.
Oh yeah. I
Right.
thought you were talking about another moment. We'll get to it towards the tail end of the episode. Um I like that Megan seems to always come to rescue him, like I said earlier.
Yeah,
I like that Tina patched Barry up, but lets it be known she doesn't love Megan intruding on their lives. Like I kind of like that she's being a little bit more firm here and like kind of I wouldn't say standing up for herself, but just like not being a pushover either, though.
agreed.
It's nice to see. Megan wants to go on alone. Barry's a good person, but man, is he oblivious to how he treats people. You can't be a knight in shining armor for everyone, is what Tina tells him.
Hmm.
Megan gets a lead based off the statue and is closer to finding the theater warehouse Jesse is using. Once again, I like the classic computers, the black and white pictures of Jesse and Barry um, yeah, Jesse and Barry once again, sorry, white pictures of Jesse. Barry once again loses his patience and takes his external pressure out on the computer. This Barry is far more temperamental than other versions. Like he's got a way shorter fuse than than
Then
like
other
Grant
versions.
Gustin's. Yeah, got a lot
Yeah,
of
I'm trying
energy.
to remember if the animated versions that I've seen also had a similar short fuse, but I don't remember.
I think they're just goofy.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, like they just tell jokes, but especially like in Young Justice, like the Flash in there just tells jokes, and then Kid Flash is like he has serious moments, but he's mostly just jokes too, though.
Yeah.
Um, I like that Julio sees through Barry and asks him what really is bothering him. Of course, it's girl trouble, a reoccurring thing for him.
True.
I like that Julio gives him a hard time once he realizes it's girl trouble. Man, Julio eats a lot. Like I know it's like a probably a reoccurring character thing, but I feel kind of bad for the actor because every time they had to do a scene, like he's just sitting there like stuffing his face, and after a while he probably I've heard stories with certain actors where they have to certain ones will just move their food around because they don't have to try to eat every single scene. If you do that,
Yep.
say you have like 20 takes of something, you're sitting there and eating still like probably cold food and everything. So like I guess
Yep.
props to him for doing that. Um, oh yeah, we meet a very poorly disguised Jesse as he poses as a federal agent trying to find Megan. He gets irritated once he hears that Barry is Megan's boyfriend. I'm surprised he didn't see through this, but also like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where it's like they get fooled by like, Barry doesn't do anything to really change his voice or anything when he's in the suit. So like, you got to kind of
Yeah.
make some allowances for this thing. Oh yeah, Megan finds his layer and his display of prank with her picture on it. That was kind of creepy.
Very.
Um, yeah, I like the following scene where the police are dealing with the Trickster car that has fireworks taped to it. I also like the continuation of the Mirth Flash joke with Bella saying it's okay if he needs to change into the Flash to help him. I thought that whole thing was great. And then the
Yes.
following part, him getting pulled up by a rope and hit with a boxing glove that shoots from the wall, knocking him out as Bellows sees the Flash run by. Hilarious setup. Your secret's safe with me, pal, is what is what Bellows said. Great
Okay.
stuff, man. Where's the Murph and Bellows spin off? I'd watch it.
Me too, honestly. I think that would have got a season two.
Definitely. They focused on the wrong guy. It's like the superhero stuff.
The Flash.
Whatever,
We don't want
man.
to care about that. This is the 90s. We care about buddy cop stuff.
Yeah, come on. People are still cool with the cops back then. But yeah, anyway. I like that Barry almost makes a mini tornado as he takes all the fireworks off, only to discover that a mannequin is behind the wheel. Like I didn't think Jesse was actually going to be there.
Yeah.
Um, Jesse in disguise has entered Barry's apartment, which mildly annoys Barry. I also love that Earl sees through the disguise, growling at him. That's such a cliche, but I always do like it in like stories and like movies and stuff, where like the dog always like either there's a ghost or like something that's not supposed to be there, and the dog always like knows that something's off, basically. Like
Yep.
I like that trope. Oh yeah, they both leave to help her once they hear she's at Jesse's hideout. I like that once they're both there, Megan immediately clocks that he's Jesse, but not before he knocks out Barry. Like I thought that was really cool. She's like, "Who's that with you?" And then like she sees him reaching for something and just immediately like, because she would know him and know like his like tricks and stuff more because she's spent more time with him. She's been like tailing him and everything, so it makes sense. Um. Oh yeah. Some of these lines are terrible. Don't move, scum. Like some of these I was like, guys, come on. Like try harder.
It's the 90s.
It's the 90s. We don't care. I like that he dresses her up like his fictional sidekick. And then the trickster is going to take out Barry with a water tank, which is classic BTAS. Like it kind of reminds me of, and I think it's Mad Love, where Joker lowers like Batman into like this fish tank looking thing of like piranhas or something
Yep.
like that. Very much reminds me of that. Like cool stuff. Like more death traps, guys. Like I wouldn't mind seeing that in like a new modern movie. Like you could still do it. You could just like I mean, there was even death traps in like The Dark Knight with like the bombs and everything.
Yeah. Do
Yeah,
that. Do like some James Bond-esque death trap or something like that. That'd be cool.
definitely. Luckily Barry wakes up and shakes so violently that he breaks the tank. I'm laughing because that was just like a weird note. But Tina and him devise a plan to save Megan. It was our secret. I like that Tina acknowledges that she's a bit hurt by that, but says if it's serious, she'll honor that. Like she's stepping away. Barry immediately comforts her, saying nothing is getting in the way of their friendship, which she takes well. I feel like also he's kind of giving her like dude, you don't realize what you're doing. You're kind of like encouraging it a little bit. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, pick a lane, man. Like, come on. But I'm glad they get married later because this ship bait, I have to be careful when I say that. Ship bait is killing me right now.
Yep.
Um, and this is a quote. I know that. I guess I just wanted to hear you say it, basically, like with the whole like, you're my friend and like no one's gonna replace you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, I, yeah, I like that Flash's solution is to not think logically and call the trickster out to a fight at Infantino Hotel the night of the costume ball. Like, and then I like the little quote here. Now, what was that about me not saving the world every day in my shiny red armor? And then she says, sometimes you're the exception that proves the rule. Like cute stuff. Like these guys always have great moments each episode. Um. Murph finally getting free as the Flash runs off, and Bella thinks he's the Flash is so funny. Just again, like repeating that gag. Trickster grabs a flyer about the duel and immediately starts ranting to prank about it. I love that he's so delusional. He thinks the Flash respects him, and I love the lightning and the look of this the lighting, I mean, and the look of this scene in the Trickster mobile. Like I thought it was like some really cool lighting, like how they shot this, and also it was so comedic just seeing him drive and reach out and grab something off the wall.
Yes. That was it was this episode was an experience.
Yeah. And then Klein was recast for this episode. There's a part where he's asking Chief Garfield about the Trickster stuff. The actor must have not been available. I don't know if you noticed that too. A
Yeah.
different guy. Um I love that they're talking about the Flash Trickster oncoming fight like it's a boxing match they're gambling on. Like I kind of like it that they're not taking it that seriously. Um, okay, so I love that Murph is now fully leaning into the bit and shows up in a poorly designed flash shoot as a joke. Like, I thought that was great. And then going into the actual costume ball itself, I don't know if you noticed this, but there's a person dressed up like Superman in the background of the ball. I also like the old retro feel to it with the big band and everything. Did you notice
Yes,
that?
that was a really cool Easter egg. And yeah, I mean, this whole show just did. I don't even know if it's a retro type feel because we're in 2024 now. It might not have been then, but it just has a very nostalgic feel now, I think. A great way
Definitely.
to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're farther away from the 90s now than
Don't remind me.
or yeah, I was about to say it's like that meme where it's like 2000s music is as far away from us as like 80s music was in the
Well,
2000s.
well, it's like, weren't we supposed to record yesterday, Alex?
Oh yeah.
We're getting old.
Yeah, definitely. It's not real. Time's not real. But
It's a concept.
yeah. I like that other
Construct.
people yeah. I like that other people at the party are dressed up as the Flash, much to Murph's disappointment because he thinks he's the only one. I thought that was kind of cool because like it's realistic. Like there would be people if there was like some sort of superhero, there would be people that dressed up. Like you see people dress up for movies, there would be people that would dress up like that character, basically.
Absolutely. They might wear that stunning outfit you have behind you, actually.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's my wife's cosplay stuff. But Jesse infiltrates the party disguised as a chef, pushing a rolling table with Megan tied up underneath before revealing himself. Super comic booky. Um, he gasses the crowd, and I love his clown-like mask, and the fact that he thinks briefly that Murph is the Flash. He gets confused. Um,
I love that.
yeah, it's so good. I love this scene of Flash having to save the crowd from Jesse's tricks and bombs. Uh, Megan breaks free only for Jesse to grab her and her to finally lose it, elbowing him and yelling, like I said earlier. I'm sick of this cartoon crap. Silly line, but it fits her no nonsense character. That's the
Yep.
word I was looking for, no nonsense.
Yeah.
But the Flash takes the Trickster down by juggling metal things around him that quickly knock him out once they make contact. I thought that was kind of cool. Um, the crowd clapping and the Warner Brothers. This is the part I was talking about when you said Scooby-Doo stuff. This is the scene I was thinking about. The crowd clapping and the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes needle drop, followed by "That's all, folks" from The Flash, was a bit much.
I loved it. That was the best part for me. I wasn't expecting it.
I was watching it and I'm like, is this real? Like it was like one of those moments. I'm like, we went so far from the first episode where like, his brother was murdered by like a corrupt, like a
Yep.
formerly corrupt cop, and like there was like all these other crazy things and like drug dealing
Complete
and
tone shift.
yeah, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I think that they probably, like a lot of shows, find themselves. Usually it's after the first season, but I guess this show kind of found the tone it wanted, like, halfway through the season.
Yep.
I actually prefer it because, like, the other way would have been like it would have just been, non-costumed villains. Just it wouldn't be any. We wouldn't have gotten these comic, but we might even not have the CW Flash show, honestly, if not for them going more goofy and comic booky.
Yep.
Um, And then I like that Bellows finally lets Murph off the hook with the "You can't be the Flash. I saw him and you in the same room." Only for Bellows to remark, "Why couldn't the Flash be in two rooms at once?" Making Bellows believe again. It's fun stuff. Like I love their dynamic. Um, and then we get a line from the Trickster as he's being carted away. That's my costume from the Trickster, in reference to Murph's Flash's costume. Gave me Batman Forever Riddler vibes with the whole. I don't know if you've seen that movie recently, but the very end where he had like Riddler's in the Arkham Asylum, and he has like a straight jacket, but it's got like shredded
Yeah.
bits to it, and it looks like bat wings. He's like, I'm Batman. He starts doing his arms like that, like reminded me of that, which is before that. So maybe Schumacher took some inspiration from that,
Inspiration.
possibly. I could
I
see
could see
that.
it.
Yeah. And then him saying, "I'm the Flash." Megan has to leave for seemingly no reason. Like it's just like it's the end of the episode. I gotta go. Like her excuse is
Yeah,
just
that
like
was very like TV, like
um,
you're not really the right one, so we got just gotta get you out of here kind of thing.
at this exact moment, now that the case is solved, I'm like,
Yep.
come on, guys. But
So I know we just solved this case, but Barry, I have to go. I have to leave right now. I cannot stay. I can't.
spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. But in the CW Flash show, there's a very similar moment with the Flash of this show when he gets freed, where he's just like, I'm free now. I gotta go, Barry. Like I'm just like, bro, like what are we doing?
Yep.
But that's gonna be interesting when we get there. But so Megan has to leave. And then she says, "I'll write you from San Francisco." He's like, "How often?" It's like often enough to keep you interested. I'm like, I don't think she comes back after this. But
I
oh
guess
yeah.
she didn't write enough.
Anyway, Barry got that dog in him talking about say goodnight or goodbye at my place. That man does not give up, man.
Player.
Yeah. I do have to change. This Harley Quinn bondage stuff does not suit me. No, I don't know. I kind of like it. If you would. Like that that
Yep.
line was pretty wild for like 90s
I,
TV.
as much as I like Tina, I gotta be honest, I kind of John Wesley ship them together.
Oh yeah, a lot of people I was listening to another podcast where they mentioned this and like yeah, like that's like a popular ship. It's kind of like I guess Patty with us except for us Patty should have been in game. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
like spoilers for that I guess when we eventually go over that,
Yeah.
but yeah, like should have been her. It should have been her, but
Yep.
yep. Oh, and then he has a little line because I'm in the market for a sidekick. This was a funny ending to this episode, followed by her smacking his ass. It was kind of funny. And so briefly, definitely more comedic than the first episode. Some of it is great and some of it's rough dialogue wise, but overall enjoyed this episode. So what did you think? I've been talking this whole time. What did you think of the episode?
It's a and again, I have not seen episodes 2 through 11. So this was a drastic tonal shift. Um, but I think it was a welcome one. As much as I do like that darker, gritty style, Tim Burton-esque kind of feel of that first episode,
Hmm.
this one was just it was fun. There wasn't
Yeah.
like I don't think it was spectacular, but it wasn't bad either. It was a good time.
Yeah. And then if we ever get to like another time where we want to cover some of the 90s Flash, there is an episode called Fast Forward. They should have called it Flash Forward, but they didn't. Where like he accidentally travels to the future and it's all like dystopian and like everything's falling apart and everything. They have like a Flash museum. So like that would be kind of fun. So that's one of my favorite episodes of this show. So that'd be kind of fun to cover. But yeah, like my notes kind of said, this episode was great, but like I think actually the second appearance of the Trickster is a little bit better, like with the whole like Harley Quinn like analog in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, like we'll briefly touch on that whenever we do our review next time of the CW Trickster episode. But anyway, I like this episode overall. It was fun. I liked some of the Murph and Bello stuff. They're becoming much more of a spotlight in this. Some of the dialogue was very cartoony. And some of it worked, and then some of it was just like you could have done another pass at the script. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'd say overall I really liked it. I guess heart, humor, spectacle. There, there wasn't really any heart in this one. This was much more just like a fun kind of episode. The humor for me would be the Murph and Bello stuff. That stuff was hilarious, and then the spectacle would be all the stuff with the trickster, the like the fireworks part was pretty cool. Like some of the other fight scenes, like just
I think
in
I'd agree with
general,
you.
yeah, the Trickster set pieces were great. I'd give it probably give it probably like 3 out of 5 lightning bolts. How about you?
I give it 2.5 out of
Okay,
5. Yeah, but I think I
yeah,
agree with you on Hard Humor and Spectacle.
yeah, cool. So, trying to think if there's anything else. No. So, next time we will be covering the Trickster episode of The Flash. I'm really excited to get into it. And
Yes.
yeah, unless you had anything else, we can just go ahead and go into outros and get get to running. I don't know. Anyway, like
That's all, folks.
cool. Nice. But yeah, so you guys know you know me. I'm Alex.
Wait, who are you?
Yeah, who are you? Wait, how they get on this call? But
Who are you?
who are you?
Kazoo.
I gotta maybe put in a if I could find it, possibly put in a clip
Oh, hi. Wait a minute. Who are you?
of that kid on there. That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, so I'm Alex. I do obviously this show, Flashbacks, where we're getting towards the end of the first season, which is exciting.
Seven
And
episodes left, I think.
yeah, I think, yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, so I have this show, I have Night of the Batman, which is like our Batman show. Me and my wife do that. We recently concluded, and the episode actually premiered today. It's September 1st. So like we concluded our Night of the Owls coverage. So that was pretty cool. Finally done with them. I actually played Gotham Knights recently. Like I finished it and it was a pretty good game. Like some of the reviews were harsh. Like it's not gonna blow your socks off or anything, but like I don't know, I had fun. I think sometimes people are too harsh with those things. But yeah, and then I have Tangential Exchange, me and Trip. We're gonna have another one of those soon. I have some audio I could probably use for like a shorter episode if I wanted to, but that will start back at some point soon. And then what mean event I'm just gonna stop promising what mean at this point. What mean will come back when I have time, basically. Like Will said, I have like 10 plus like podcasts. I think that's all of them. But I'll let you go over your stuff now. That's hog
Yeah,
filled.
man. So obviously, might as well. You can find me here on the Flashbacks podcast, and I also have another podcast coming back with what's going to be season 3 of it. Hopefully,
Nice.
sometime here soon, towards the end of the year, called "It's Up," and that's it for me. I'm a dad, so that's it.
A daddy again, huh?
Yep.
But yeah, so trying to remember how we finish these. So yeah, we will see you
See you
in
in the
the Speed
speed force. That's
Force.
all, folks.